with a pre-recorded video today on a possible serial murder who involved his children. Now, this case is still open and is currently active today, so there'll be follow-ups on this one. But it's kind of a wild ride, so I thought I would report on it, and then we'll catch up with it when more comes out. So let's jump in. Today's case is out of Taper, Iowa. It's about a man named Donald Studey and his daughter Lucy Studey in 2007 first started making everyone aware of everything. See, her father passed away in 2013 at the age of 75. But in 2007, she first started speaking up about what she says happened. See, she says that her father had murdered up to 70 women and had her and her sister help bury the bodies, well, get rid of the bodies, in a well on their property. Now, her sister has a different story, and I'll share that later on. But she went to investigators and she spoke about this. And investigators in the town say that they had heard stories, that there was rumors of bodies buried in a well that they had heard as children. But they were just rumors. And that was until Lucy Studey started speaking out and saying that her father had her help bury bodies as a child. Well, when Donald passed away in 2013 and Lucy continuing to press on and say that she had done these things when she was a child, that she witnessed her father taking a body with two other men out of the trunk of a car, and that she believed that body was the body of a 15-year-old that had gone missing in her area, that she believed her father was responsible for the SA of this 15-year-old that never was located. Police decided they better investigate. So they investigated. However, this is where things get messy. Apparently, police investigated, but they investigated on the property and they saw what they thought was the only well on the property, but it wasn't. They investigated a well on the property adjacent to Lucy's father's property, and they spent over $300,000 excavating, you know me, English is hard, excavating this property and the well, but it ended up being the wrong well. It wasn't even the correct area. So they did the wrong area, they didn't find anything, and now, we catch up till now, Lucy has not stopped. She's continued to say, you guys did the wrong area, I'm not going to let this go, my father was responsible for this, I remember helping him bury bodies, you guys, there's bodies on this property, you need to go find them. And one of the investigators, what was his name? Hold on, let me find it. So Fremont County Sheriff Kevin Astrop, I hope I'm saying his name correctly, probably not. He has been with Lucy and trying to get this whole thing figured out from the beginning. And he decided, you know what, I'm going to be right there with you. We're going to get this thing done. And he said, I'm going to try to do the quote here. He said, I'm not going to let it die. I'm just not going to let that happen. We've got to go with Lucy. No matter if they say it's not true or say she's crazy or whatever they can say, we have to look into it. We have no other choice. So that's what he says about this. And he's continuing to keep looking into it. Now here's the kicker. Lucy has a sister named Susan. Now Susan says, no, Dad didn't murder anybody. I'm 2 years older than Lucy. If Dad murdered somebody and had us burying bodies, I would remember that. That didn't happen. Dad was just strict. He was a strict dad. He loved us. You don't go from being a strict dad to a serial killer. It didn't happen. It never happened. I don't know what she's talking about. So the other daughter's like, no, this did not happen, and she's out there trying to clear her dad's name. She claims that he was strict, but he was a protective parent who loved his children, and strict fathers don't just turn into serial killers. That's what Susan said. Now, Susan also claims that her sister is just making things up, I think for attention, is what Susan was claiming. So I don't know. Now, they really don't have any evidence. The FBI will not say whether or not they are investigating. But the only evidence they have so far is they took 2 separate dogs at separate times, 2 separate canines that are trained to detect human remains. They took them at 2 separate times onto the property, and the 2 dogs at 2 separate times hit on 2 separate areas for human remains in the exact same spots. So that's pretty huge, and these spots are the exact spots that Lucy had said that there would be remains. So that's pretty telling. Now, what Susan says, though, is that one of those remains is a baby that was miscarried and buried on the property, and that the other remains that were hit on was a family dog. Now, canines that are trained for this do not pick up on dog remains. They only pick up on human remains, so that part doesn't really make sense. So this is all we have so far in this story. We don't really have any more than this. This is all the information that's out there so far. But I thought this was really interesting, and I thought that this was a good story that I think we should follow up on. What do you all think of this? One sister saying that her father was a serial killer. The whole town knew this legend, this story that there was a serial killer dumping bodies in a well. And after the father passed away, the daughter comes forward and says, yes, he did, and I was scared to tell anybody because I thought he would kill me. The other sister says, no, it never happened. So what do you all think? And the dogs are picking up on human remains. What does everybody think? Oh, and it's such a small town that because they wasted the resources on the first search and went in the wrong area, they're having to kind of wait until they can get enough resources to do another search. This is kind of strange, is it not? What do you all think? Let me know in the comments section, and I'll jump back on when we get more information. Wishing you all much kindness and much love. Bye for now.